Okay. Um. So, like what we were discussing earlier, please, I would like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Mumo. I'm a content creator based in Nairobi, Kenya. I am in the educational space here in Nairobi. The main focus on the channel is around education to do with money, finance, business, which businesses you want to start, and how much money you would need in order to start a particular business. And recently, I also added uh, education around Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I've been doing this from 2018. That's when I decided I want to officially be a content creator, doing about close to 50 videos a year. This year,
Wow.
we've done close to double that, but a number of that is also in YouTube Shorts. And I'm glad to be here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Miriam. So, like the topic of this discussion, we are going to talk about the creators' economy. You know, things are not getting interesting, are not interesting as in terms of financial independence or financial capacity. Many things are happening in the tech world, even in the real world, the same issue here and there. And we're going to talk about crypto. Something happened about crypto, so I think you just give us a hint of what happened there. But the main focus today is about content creators, African content creators. Like the report we get some time ago, they said the African content, creator economy is worth over $100 billion, and half of that is being earned by less than 10% of the creators in Africa. So now we are going to discuss, or you share with us some other ways content creators, especially African content creators, the smaller ones, a way they can, get up their game in generating revenue, not solely depending on ads. Like those of us in YouTube, we focus more on AdSense pay. And from the little stats I've gotten, like most of us, or most of the small YouTubers, let me use that word small, but let me call them, I can still call them growing YouTubers. They earn they can't earn up to $100 in a month. They struggle to earn that. Even some of them, it takes them months to hit that threshold. So I would like you to give us an insight of how creators can expand, their earnings.
Okay. I think just before we get into the money, one of the lessons I think very many content creators do not have is just that patience of getting to the good money. Um, the way the creator journey has been structured is it requires a lot of effort, especially on the front end when you're starting off, before anyone knows you, trying to build a community. That's where the most work is, because before you get to 1,000 subscribers or 10,000 subscribers, most people don't know who you are, and sad to say, they don't care. Yeah. And a number of people, most of the creators, they get discouraged in that space. uh, just speaking of statistics, there was a stat that I read that only 3% of content creators on YouTube are currently monetized. So
Mm.
if you think about it, the biggest hurdle for you to be able to get into the top 3% on the platform, because there are about 3 million creators who are monetized, for you to get into that threshold, it's like the creme de la creme is just getting 1,000 subscribers. So that's the biggest struggle. And even as you start on the creator journey, my advice would be, I know money is good, but my advice would be, especially if you're trying to grow a community that you can later monetize, don't focus on the money. Because if you focus on the money, you'll get frustrated. You and me both know, like you've just said, the CPMs in Africa are the lowest around the world.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, it's not the fault of the platform. CPMs are determined by the advertisers.
Yeah.
So one thing that you can actually do is look at how can you be able to supplement this AdSense money. But most creators never get to that thinking of, I need to think beyond AdSense. Most of us depend on AdSense. Most of us, we only know of AdSense as a way to monetize our audience because it's the easiest. And I'm using easiest really in quotes because you put in a lot of work, but the number of views that you need to get in order to get a sustainable income is usually inversely proportional. It's not the amount of effort you put in does not lead to money
Translated.
in your bank account. So when you as a creator realize this, because for me, in the very first month of monetization, I made $9 in 15 days. So that's nothing that you can
That's
say, I can actually do anything with it. Because when I was starting off, it was taking me about 2, 3 months in order to just get monetization or to just get the $100 or the 70 euros that you need in order to go to Western Union and ask for your money. So for me, I had to start thinking of how else can I start making money outside of this AdSense that I have. And being in the niche that I am, I see myself as very lucky because I've only had to approach brands, I think, twice. The rest of the time, it's been brands coming and approaching me and looking at ways that we can be able to partner. But for the sake of the audience that is here today, one of the best ways that you can start making money on the platform is to look for brands that you already are using, you already are in love with, that you can swear by, that are good products that you already use, and look for ways that you can be able to partner. Most of the time, when you approach them, the answer will either be no or not right now. And that should be okay. Don't give up because you hear that. Most of the companies that you will talk to, they already have marketing plans already in motion. They already have budgets set aside for a particular campaign and things like that. So for most of them, even when you get in touch with them, the very first time that you get in touch with them is for you to just get known and for them to know that you exist because that was not there in the very first place. Create a relationship. I like talking about the brand relationship like you would if you wanted to start a relationship with someone. If you're a man and you see a beautiful woman, you cannot go on the very first day and say, I have seen you and I want to get married to you. They'll most likely think you're a mad person. So the same approach that you would have taken to woo the woman and take her on dates and be able to build that relationship so that you get to know each other. And then when you finally pop the question, you can get married and things like that. That's the same kind of mentality you should have. The fact that the very first time a brand encounters you may not be for them to give you money. But if you approach it in that way, then you'll miss very many opportunities because people don't like being sold to. So when you approach a brand, ideally it should be to try and find out what are their goals, what are they looking to achieve. And then once you found out that, then you can be able to come up with ideas that can help them achieve their goals. Because many of the times, when as a content creator, we think that brands want awareness. But if you go to a brand like Coca Cola, for instance, Coca Cola doesn't want awareness. People already know that particular brand. They may be targeting something else that they want in the minds of their audience. So when you find out what that is, then you can actually be able to structure the pitch that you're going to pitch to them, and you actually set yourself apart. While other people are just talking about, oh, we'll get you views, we'll get you this, we'll get you that. Maybe they just want stories of how their brand is being used at the local place. And if you find that out, you can actually be able to structure the pitch that you have with them. Brands are probably, for me, I think the easiest to get into apart from AdSense, because you can make 10, 20, 30 times the money for the number of views usually that you'd have gotten with AdSense. Because at the
Okay.
end of the day, even though we don't like to say it, whatever we are doing in terms of content creation, we want to make money out of it. I think the next thing that people can get into in order to get a little more money is to come up with products that they can be able to sell to their audience. One good book that I like recommending is by Pat Flynn. It's called A Thousand True Fans. And the main objective of that particular book is if you have 1,000 people who will be able to support you no matter what you're doing, they are able to buy whatever products you have, then you'll be able to live a very comfortable life. So for instance, if for myself, because I'm in the education space, if I come up with an ebook and sell that ebook for $5, for instance, $5 is an amount that is affordable for so many people in both our audiences, because that's money that you would eat lunch with, for instance. So if I am selling my product for $5 and I have 1,000 true fans, that means that my 1,000 people come and buy my product, which is $5. I create it once, probably spend a whole weekend making sure that the landing page is done and things like that. But
Okay.
I have 1,000 people who buy it, that's $5,000. And think if you have a bigger audience and 10,000 people come and buy, that's $50,000. And that is just from one product. If you look at it that way, then you start thinking of YouTube as the top of the funnel, which is a place where you can be able to get awareness to whatever you are building on the side. Because at the end of the day, YouTube is rented space for everyone, including myself. YouTube
Okay.
is rented space. You
Okay.
are using the platform for free,
Okay. Okay.
and
Okay. Okay.
you're building an audience there for free.
Okay. Okay. Sorry to cut you in. There's something I want to ask here. You said if someone gets 1,000 loyal fans, if you say something for $5, it translates to $5,000. In the real sense, I think that is more on the theory part. It's something that when you try to implement it, you hardly achieve that. You discover that even less than 10% will even patronize even your true loyal fans, maybe less than 10%. That's why they said anything, any asset you have on the internet or virtually, if 10%, more than 10% can respond to whatever thing you are doing, that means you are doing well. So now, if I want you, like most of my audience are, they are young, just like I said, small content creators. Is there anything that they don't have, like someone that doesn't have the audience? They don't have audience, and there's no way, when you talk of 1,000, let's assuming a creator with 1,000 subscribers. Let's say all the 1,000 subscribers are loyal, but it's very hard to get. Even that 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 followers is very hard to get. So, is there any strategy that I mean a small creator can do out of the box? Or let me say, like, if someone in comedy, in comedy you can't sell product. Like most of our young friends, they are in the entertainment or comedy niche. They don't even have a product to sell. So apart from the brands, is there any other way they can find their way out?
Okay. Okay. So The example of 1,000 true fans is the goal. It's the holy grail. Of course,
Okay.
as you're starting off, I'm not expecting that you'll have 1,000 people, but you can get 10 people, you can get 100 people. And it starts with one, trying to convince that one person that whatever you have to provide is of value. So, in my example of the digital product, in order for you to be able to sell to 1,000 people, then you need to at least be able to convince one person that it is worth their money. Okay. And this is a rinse and repeat kind of thing. So it takes a lot of effort to move from zero people who are enjoying your product to one person enjoying your product. It takes a lot of effort. And that's a reason why when I was starting, I actually said that most of the effort on the platform is usually front ended. You have to build value for your audience. You have to start that way. In the question about, and the example about a comedian and how they can be able to sell, um, it doesn't have to be a product that you have made for you to sell. Okay. So it can be a restaurant, for instance, where the restaurant owner wants to bring awareness to their
Okay.
restaurant. Okay. So you find this good restaurant and you agree with the restaurant owner, I want you to pay me, say, $100. Let's not even aim a lot of money. I know in Naira, that's a lot right now. I hear the Naira is 900. 900 Naira to
You are current
$1.
with
But
you are very current
let's
with
just say $50 or
Nigerian
$100,
economy.
whatever it is. And
Mm.
especially when you're starting off and I'm mentioning these words, sometimes $50 looks like a lot of money to you, but I don't want you to think of if you are the one giving out the $100. Think of how much value this person has put on their $100. If you're talking to a restaurant owner, for them, 100,000 Naira is nothing, you know? So they are ready to pay you the 100,000 Naira very easily so that you do a short video for them. So if you're a comedian, you can actually set up everything in that particular hotel and do a whole skit in that particular hotel, which will actually
Okay.
show people where the hotel is, the services that are there. Sometimes, as a comedian, you can even involve the owner, or you can involve some of their employees in the skit itself. All these are ways to be able to bring awareness for that particular brand. So you always need to be ingenious as to where the kind of money you are looking for is going to come from. I'll give you a very good example. My very first time that someone paid me to talk about their product on my platform, they paid me $10. Now, if you hear $10, you're like, what do you mean? How? That's undervaluing your brand. But if you've been paid zero before and now you're being paid something, at the end of the day, you know this is not my end point, this is my start point. Because it also gets you in that motion of another brand will see that you've advertised another brand there. And when they come, I'll not charge them $10 because even in my mind, the very first time I was charging $10, I was afraid to even ask for $10 because I was thinking, how will I provide value to them? But
Yes.
they actually gave it out. The next one that I charged $40 because I was trying to push myself
Further.
and see and try and convince myself, yes, I'm worth $40, so let me ask for $40. But in my heart, I'm trembling. I'm like, oh my goodness, will they be able to accept? But they did. So that has been the start of the journey. You have to have a mindset of whatever you're doing will provide value to the other person, because when it comes to brand deals, there are three main people involved. One is a sponsor who is coming up with the money. The second one is you, the affiliate, for instance, or the creator in this case, and the third is the audience. So
Okay.
once you found out what the advertiser wants, and you know that their product or service would be of value to your audience, then you as a person come in and you connect them to. That's the whole point of a brand deal. The audience will win because they finally have gotten new information, something that will help them, a product that they can buy, a service that they can make use of, something that they did not know exists. Now they know. The advertiser or the sponsor or the brand that you're dealing with, they have found a new audience. They will be able to get in touch with this audience, and their product is out there. And for you, of course, you have served two people in this particular case. And at the end of the day, you also get money as well. I think
Yes.
that's important for people to understand that you don't need to be making Mr. Beast money in order to succeed on the platform. All you need for yourself first as a mindset shift, where you think of yourself as a brand, you package yourself as a brand as simple as
Awesome.
possible, so
Okay.
that now when you start approaching brands, you can be able to tell them, this is the kind of audience that I have, and I'd love to work with you. I've seen a question here just before we go to the next thing
Okay.
about watch time. So I'll give you the way I actually did it. And he
Okay. Write
says, I
down.
think getting 1K subscribers this day is easy, but getting the 4,000 watch hours is a problem. So what I did is I did a math equation in my head, and I gave myself a target of, this is something I want to achieve in 12 months time. So how many hours do I need per month in order to reach 4,000 hours? And because as you are growing, you tend to have less watch time as you're starting. So in the very first month, I didn't meet the target. But I always told myself, you know what? I can make up for it in the next month. So in the next month, I was trying to get more watch time than last month and try and hit this target for that particular month. And by the time I was getting to month 7, I was starting to meet the monthly target. And then by month 8, 9, 10, I was now hitting higher, because the more content that you do, the more watch time that you're
So
getting,
you
the
get.
more
Yeah.
you're understanding about your audience. Truthfully, I can tell you today, it actually took me 12 months. That 12 months that I'd set aside, it took me 12 months to reach that 4,000 hours. Right now, of course, the watch hours is not my target anymore,
Yeah.
but that is a simple math that people can be able to make use of in order to reach the monetization that they're looking for.
Okay. Okay. Mumu, thanks for that. Luxury cars. I hope Mumu have done justice to your question. So I want to talk about. I want us to talk about affiliate marketing. You know, most of the YouTube experts or social media experts, they make much emphasis on affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing. So, to a young or a growing African creator, how how easy or how can will you recommend affiliate marketing? Because I've tried it. I've tried the Amazon affiliate. I've tried it, and I think I just got some few dollars, not up to $10. And the way this expert, all these top YouTubers, the way they emphasize on it, they tell you they cash out $20,000, these dollars, that dollars. Um, I don't think that is free from my own experience. So I'd like you to share yours if you've tried something like affiliate marketing.
So, sorry. So, one of the things that I think, first of all, affiliate marketing works. That's the truth. Whatever they are saying, of course, they are saying with the their experiences in mind. And most of these people are in the US, in the UK, Australia. people are used to buying from these particular places. But what I did for myself, because I know it works, is in the description of all my videos, there's a in the settings of your YouTube channel, there's a place where it's written upload defaults. So I watched one of the creators' channels, and he had a template of how to structure your description. So I put all my affiliate links on all my videos. Okay. And the way I do it, which I will talk about right now, but also how I'd love to be doing it. If you're in Africa, then Amazon is not necessarily the best option for you, because you also have to think of the creator journey, most of the customer's journey, sorry. So
Yeah.
if you're thinking about the customer's journey, the sellers on Amazon, before they can be able to get that product to Nigeria, that customer has gone through so many hoops and hurdles. And for most of them, they are selling to the US audience. They're not selling to us. And sad to say that many times, most of these brands, they're not thinking about Africa. Africa does not exist to them. So when you're thinking about the customer's journey, you have to think about how will this customer get this product that I'm actually recommending. So one thing that you can do, because you most likely still have an international audience, still put the Amazon links on your profile, okay? But is there a local alternative to Amazon that people can be able to get that product in your country? So a good example, I think, that is in Kenya and also in Nigeria is Jumia. So you can become a Jumia affiliate. I know it has a lot of issues,
Exactly.
especially with payouts, which I've heard
Payouts.
from so many people. But the idea is you need to just make it a little easier for your customers or your audience to be able to get a hold of what you are talking about. The other way that I personally do it, because I'm not even a Jumia affiliate, but the ideas for people to be able to use, the way I do it is I am an affiliate of digital marketplaces. So because I'm in the crypto space, anytime I promote a cryptocurrency exchange, that's my affiliate link that is there. And the way those platforms pay is if someone has spent on the platform and has been charged some money, I make some money. So it's almost passive, completely passive. So if I find that I have a good person and good in terms of they will spend a lot of money on the platform, then I can be able to make a lot of money passively that way without ever having to resell to them. So you always have to look at which alternatives are there. And a good way of finding that out is our very good friend Google. So what you do is that brand, and then you put affiliate next to it and just search that. So for instance, if you're I love using Canon cameras. So I can actually put up Canon and put affiliate. Most likely there'll be an affiliate program for selling Canon products in this particular case. So I sign up on their platform, get approved as an affiliate, and then I'll put it on my description so that anytime someone goes to that particular site and buys a Canon camera, I'll make some money.
Yes, something.
The end of it is, at the moment, so many local brands don't necessarily have the affiliate component as part of their marketing strategy,
Marketing, yeah.
but that will come with time. So at the end of the day, work with the international, try and look for a local alternative, mix the two together. You can start making a few dollars here and there with
Okay.
affiliate.
Okay. Falco Media, it says, what's the first thing to do when brands need to work with you? So what's the first thing a creator needs to do when a brand wants to work with them?
Foku, a nice name. So, Foku, what you can do, the first thing that you need to do, in my opinion, is to have a media kit. So, a media kit is a summary of who you are, what you stand for, who your audience is, what are your statistics, and what's your biggest strength in terms of, as a creator, what do you bring to the table? And then finally, for me, it's usually on the very last page, the money. How much do you want to be paid when you're doing a particular brand promotion? Or you can leave that out if you want to customize every single brand deal. But the first thing I do, apart from the media kit, and because I get 3 or 4 emails every single day, 70% of them are scams. Of course, because of being in the space that I'm in, the first
Okay.
thing I do is I go to a site called whois.com. So, whois.com, which is whois.com, what I do on that site is checking if that brand that has reached out to me is a legitimate brand. So most of the times when, especially as you're growing as a content creator, and I think it gets worse even as you continue growing, but most of the first brands that will ever reach out to you telling you that they want to do business with you, they want to pay you how many thousands of dollars, most of them are scams.
Just comes, yes.
And the thing I go to check on whois.com is to check when their website was registered. Any company that was registered in the same year and you're talking to me, that's a scam. And the thinking behind it for me is, by the time these people registered their company in August of 2022, and by October, they've already found me, they already want to work with me, they're a scam.
Just comes.
Most of the companies which are reaching out to us as Africans, they have been there at least for 12 months. That is the minimum. Most of the ones that I work with, I have to check their 2018 and beyond. Like they're earlier than that. Because why would they be thinking about Africa in the first place? We are usually the last market that they talk to. So that's the
Exactly.
next thing I do. And then you also need to be very careful about the website domain itself. So, what some of them do is they find a very popular site, say Amazon.com, and the person who's getting in touch with you is Amazon.co or Amazon.io. So, you see Amazon, you forget to check
Yes, you forgot
after
the other
the
part.
domain what dot it is. So those are some of the small things that I check. And then in the email, I also look at grammar. That's another thing that I look at because these people are not even bothered with the grammar that they have in the message. And although this is not a must, but if in that first email they're telling you to go to Telegram, I usually have a question mark on it. Even
Yes.
though I have gotten someone who did that and they were actually an actual brand. Because some of the companies, especially the ones from the Far East in China and things like that, they prefer to use Telegram. We in Africa, we prefer to use WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
But those are some of the things that I check. And then I always request for a meeting, whether physical or online, before we can start talking money. Because I need
Okay.
to understand what you're looking for. I need to get exactly what you are targeting. And also this is a time when I'm also testing them to see if they're a genuine brand as well.
Okay. So now, someone is asking, how much have you made from local affiliates? Okay, let me answer from my own end. When we talk about local affiliates, it's not all about sharing your links on your, I mean, in your description. Local affiliate might be a local business around. Like to tell you, when I started, before I got monetized, I did more of web tutorials and something like that. And within those periods, within those months, I was engaged with website development. And when you compare, when you compare it to dollars, it runs into hundreds of dollars. So that even made me, I wasn't consistent during my early months, on my channel. So talking about local brands or local affiliates, you don't necessarily need to promote them. Maybe the things you talk about, just like what you said, you can talk about a product, talk about whatever, and maybe those local brands might see how you have used their product, how you have talked about their product. They'll be interested to work with you. So over to you, Momo.
So, Ruth, for myself, I usually don't give out exact amounts just for the sake of my own safety.
Okay.
But my experience has been I have worked a little more, especially with international brands than local brands. And it's been, it's almost been a personal decision because of the fastness in terms of turnaround and in making of decisions. So a local brand may take 2, 3 times the time that I would have taken with an international brand. And then the international brands also pay better with international standards. So the fact that I'm in Africa for them doesn't make a difference. They just look at the fact that this is a product that we want to promote. We would like for you to work with us, and they pay the same way they would have paid someone in Australia or in Europe. So that's been my experience.
Okay. So I want to digress a little bit from our main topic. Somebody asked and want to know more about the YouTube Black Voice. What was the criteria and how to apply, and is there any platform for it? So before you enter, I just want you to first of all tell us your experience. I know you are making a video, you are making a video on that, but just give us a sneak
A
peek,
snippet.
yeah, about your experience in
Okay.
South Africa.
Okay. So I'll not give the full story here, but
Okay.
thank you for the question, though. And I'll attempt to answer it as openly as I can. So, first of all, I was in the first class of YouTube Black. So, YouTube Black Voices Fund, first class was in 2021. So, that's when I was among 4 Kenyans who were chosen for the fund. And in Nigeria, there were 8. In South Africa, there were 8. Were about 20 of us from Africa in the very first group. 2022 group has just graduated. That's actually what we're doing in South Africa. They were now graduating, and now the 2023 group was officially unofficially announced, but the official announcement and unveiling will be on the 25th of this month. So YouTube Black Voices Fund is a program that YouTube started in 2020, announced in 2020, to be able to help Black creators on the platform to amplify their voices. And it feels like I'm reading from a script, but it's not. So essentially, what essentially what it's about is YouTube wants different voices on the platform, and the Black voice is important to them. So, what they decided to do is pick a few creators who they see are being consistent on the platform, doing a good job on the platform, but they do not yet have a big enough audience for their voice to be heard. So they pick them, train them on things that they can do in order to grow their audiences. Because we're taught a lot about community, about the algorithm, things like that, how to be able to shoot using your phone. I'm actually using my phone for this. So, all these are lessons that we were going through during those lessons during that time in 2021. And you get a partner manager as well who assists you to be able to troubleshoot on your channel. If there's any issue, you have direct access with someone who is on the platform. That's even what got me verified on YouTube, which doesn't happen until you get to 100,000. But I had 20,000 that time, and I also got verified. So some of those things, and there is some grant money that they give you, and the money they give you is specifically for just helping you to boost your channel and grow your channel. So if there's anything that you needed to buy, for instance, or you need to expand your team, um, get an editor as well, or you need to come up with a new studio as well, these are things that that fund actually helped with. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think they had asked about criteria. So the simplest thing to do is just go on YouTube and search for YouTube Black. There's no real criteria per se. Of course, you already have to be monetized, first of all, and you need to have a sizable audience. At first, in my group, I'd seen 20,000 was the lowest, which was actually mine. But I've actually seen people with 5,000 subscribers getting. So the
Yeah.
point is, it's not the number of subscribers that you have, but you already need to be monetized. And they usually have emails that they send out and people to be able to apply. So the group that applied this year actually is now officially starting in November to next year, November.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Ruth, your audio. I tried to add you, but your audio is mute. You can
Yes, I intentionally turned it off so
Okay.
that I'll speak when you're ready. My kids are making noise in the background.
Okay. 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 We can hear you now.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much for having me. Our co-host, you're amazing. Congratulations for all your good work. Your insight has been insightful. Um, Talking about affiliate marketing, okay, and it's something I've been struggling with. That I have to be open here. I try to create an Amazon account, try to link it up with Pioneer. Doing all these things from Africa is is not very easy. And now I heard you talking about customers' journey. I didn't really think about that, but now that I heard you mention it, that's a big part that will cause a lot of hindrance that I've not even thought of. But there's something that you said again that kind of clicked in my head, considering the local affiliates, all right. And my friend, okay, Tech Informant also said, um, do it in line with um, promoting a brand. Let them see how good you are, and then reach out to you, something like that. How do you guys go about that? Because that's now the next level. Because I really don't believe that people make much from affiliate marketing. Sincerely, I don't believe. I just believe highest you make $10, $60. You hardly make much from it. That's what me I believe. Okay, because I've tried Jumia affiliate once and it's a serious mess. Okay, but this other part, this other style that you just talked about now, promoting a brand in line with what, of course, the product that you personally use as it relates to your channel. How does that work? Have you ever done that? Have anyone reached out to you from doing that, and how did it work? That was what I was trying to ask in the comments.
Okay. Um, I'll give you a good example. When people go to clubs on Friday night, they're usually, of course, in our side here, but I don't know how your clubs are. But there are ladies who walk around selling expensive liquor, probably by the shot. So the arrangement that they have with the club is it depends with how much you sell on that particular night. If you sell well, you'll make good money. So the whole point of that is the fact that you need to be creative with how you're going to work with a particular brand. If you have a personality around lifestyle, for instance, you can if you do if you do furniture, DIY, things like that, and you do transformations, you can actually go to a furniture brand and come up with a limited edition furniture. For instance, that's Mumo. This is a Mumo chair that we are coming up with. There'll only be 40 of them. And of course, they're premium price, but because guys want that life that you have as well, and they see this product that you've made in collaboration with, say, Ashley's or Furniture Palace, things like that, all these big brands around luxury furniture, you can actually have an arrangement with them that if they sell these 40 chairs that are branded limited edition that are just your name, then you get 5% or 10%. So you just have to be creative about how you're going to work with brands depending on your brand. The options are limitless. Honestly, the options are limitless. It's just that you have to look at what does my brand represent, and probably even write down which brands you'd love to collaborate with, and then look for ingenious ways that you can be able to work with them.
Okay, okay. Mumo, let me add to what you have said. Roots is she does YouTube education, or let me call it a content create. I mean, it's a content creator educationist. So like Ruth, like what from what he said now, maybe with your niche, you might not be able to go to a furniture company or something like that. But you have, like, those things that content creators normally use, like cameras, phone, mic, even the furniture itself. Maybe you might just get a new furniture, maybe the seat you use, office seat, you might just talk about it and all those kind of things. So just like what Mumu have said, the opportunity or the chances there are, they are limitless. Depends on how creative you are about, thinking out. Because like what we normally do when we keep teaching people, like when we that is in the educational niche, we might be teaching every time, but once in a while we can introduce some things to your audience. Tell them that, look, oh, I tried this thing out and it makes sense. Or I got this phone, I got this mic, and it has enhanced my production and all those stuff. So there's somebody on here, so comedy. Okay, give us your question, please.
Okay. Hi, Momo. Good
Right.
evening to you. Hi, Tech.
Good
Sorry, my
evening.
question is still based on the YouTube voice. I don't know if, like, my content, I do produce unoriginal content, and I don't know if people with that content can stand a chance to apply for YouTube voice. Am I correct, right?
Okay, you mean your content are not original content?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think I don't
Okay.
think they consider. Okay, one moment.
Someone in the class of 2023 does reactions. So does that
Okay,
answer your question?
Okay.
okay,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah,
I'm okay.
okay,
Thank you so much.
okay. You're welcome. Okay, Momo, just like you talked about Amazon. For those watching from Nigeria, Amazon will be coming very soon, or they're already in Nigeria. So this would be a very big boost for Nigerian content creators. When we start sharing, Jumia had failed us, even Konga. There's another top market here, top platform here, Konga. They have failed. If you try their, just like what Ruth said, their affiliate system is not the best. But I mean, Amazon coming to Nigeria would be a very big boost to, Nigerian content creators. So now let's talk about. I know, well, just let me just digress a little. crypto. What's wrong with crypto?
There's nothing wrong with crypto.
I have my personal reservation. I have a personal reservation about crypto. That's why when I talk about making money on the internet, I intentionally don't talk about crypto. But now you are one of the top guys in crypto
I
in
am the
Kenya.
top guy.
In Kenya. So what is wrong with crypto? Just 2 minutes so that you can enlighten us here.
Okay. First of all, truth be told, there's nothing wrong with crypto. It's just um, people are being people in the crypto space. And I'll explain what that means. But at the end of the day, I think one of the things that people need to understand is of all the cryptocurrencies that are there, Bitcoin is different from other cryptocurrencies. Buy Bitcoin if you ever need any financial advice. Buy Bitcoin. The other cryptocurrencies, do them at your own risk. And I have personal reasons for the same. And the reason why I say that this year, 2022, is part of the market cycle of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. The the market is in 4-year cycles where you have about 2.5 years of red candles everywhere, bear market, and 1.5 years of the bull market. So last year, actually from around May of 2020 to end of last year, was the 1.5 years of the bull market. So the prices of Bitcoin especially moved from $5,000 to about $69,000 in that 18 months. And right now we are at about 18 or $16,000
16, I
right
think
now.
it's was
So we are
16.
back in the bear market. The problem is when the bull market comes, people think that it will go on forever. Yet Bitcoin has proven in the past that once the cycle is over, the cycle is over, and it goes into a bear market. Recently, what has happened is there are actually 3 platforms in the last 3 months which have gone bankrupt with billions of dollars. And the problem is not crypto. The problem is the people in crypto. And it's the same way with land. You will find some con men when it comes to land. The same way you have people who are conning people with gold. Gold is not bad. The gold business itself is not bad, but there are people who are in the space who are nefarious in nature. The
Mm.
the headache that I have is the fact that people are so concentrated on how they can be able to make money with crypto, and they fail to listen to the simple lessons that people like me are trying to drum in before you start spending your money. We want that story of a guy who bought a cryptocurrency $8,000 and the amount went to $500 million in about 1.5 years. We want those stories, yet that is just one of 100 million people. 90 million people have lost money. We don't want to hear those stories. So we want the good ones.
Okay.
We don't want to learn. We are very greedy in the space because people forget that crypto is a risky investment. If you're going to put money in it, you have to be ready to lose it. The same way that if you put money in Dangote's cement factory, you're
Mm.
hoping that it makes money. It can go bankrupt tomorrow. You have no idea. So it's a mix of the two. First, on one side, you have newcomers who hear very good stories, and the media is to blame as well. But there are some people who get into the space who get very greedy and they lose a lot of their money. And on the other end, you have people who they have been trusted and then they abuse the trust that they have been given by the
Okay.
people who've put money on their platforms.
Okay. Well, thanks for that explanation. But even with what you have said, I still have hold on my personal reservation about crypto, because when I hear the story of FTX, the guy behind it, the world economy losing over 50 billion US dollars. Hmm. My brother, in Nigeria, we say run, oh, run, oh. so, so
Buribe, why
thanks
are
a
you
lot.
running?
Run with your portfolio. So,
Yeah.
Bull, thanks a lot. Before you go, you have not told us about your South African experience. How did you go and come back? Your trip? Just I know. Just give us a little hint
Just
before you
as
release your video. Just a hint.
okay. So about a month or so ago, about 2 months ago, I got an email that we had been invited to South Africa, and it was for the YouTube Black Africa end of year celebration. In my year, when we're finishing our year, which was last year, we actually did it online. So we did everything online because of COVID, of course. And now this year they decided to do it as a physical thing. So we were flown to South Africa for the event. We're there for about 4 days, which was really exciting because I got to meet Nigerians like Eric Okafor. I was
Wow.
able to meet Winfred of Zelicious. Someone else was able to meet. There were quite a number of people. I met a lady called Chantel, uh, who's also a good creator there. I met another one called Fumi. So I met so many people from Nigeria. A lady called Skybell as well. I met the critics. How can I forget the critics company? Uh, brilliant, brilliant guys from uh, Kaduna State. So I was able to meet so many creators who are doing awesome things on the continent. And for me, I think one of the biggest things I learned in that particular place is every single person's voice is important, and the number of subscribers that you currently have does not equate to the impact that you have.
Yeah.
That you have a very big impact and your voice is very important. And
Yes.
for so many people, especially those who try and apply for this program and you probably get a no in the very first time, that
Yes.
doesn't mean that you are not important or you're not valuable. It just means that it's not yet your time to
Your
get there.
time is true.
But in the
I
meantime, I think continue creating as a creator, whatever you're doing, because you're still having an impact on the people that are watching your channel. See, like even for tech, I remember watching your channel, I think at 4,000 or 3,000 subscribers, and look at where you are right now. You know,
yeah.
the number of subscribers that you have or the number of eyeballs that you have is not equal to the kind of impact that you're having. You're
Yes.
touching one person and helping them. If you went on the street today and you gave one person a pair of shoes, they would be so excited. But it's the same thing that you're doing online. It's just that when you look at the number of views,
Virtually.
sometimes you think that 300 views is a little amount. But if 300 people came to you at once and they're like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, you'd feel very overwhelmed. And
Yeah.
sometimes we just need to remind ourselves that we are talking to human beings on the other side. And yes, South Africa was amazing. Going to start on the vlog
Okay.
tomorrow. I was just making sure the timeline looks nice,
Okay.
and I'm excited to show people what happened in South
Okay.
Africa.
So
Yeah.
if you want to get the full gist, you can just hurry up to Momo's channel,
Yes.
youtube.com/@mumo. So, like, okay, now let me say this should be the last question I will ask. Like, I applied for the 2020 class. I wasn't accepted. And just like what you said, it's not something that you applied once, and there's a reason why some people are choosing and why others are kept aside. So now, like currently, I have a YouTube, I have a channel manager. YouTube assigned someone, one white guy, very nice guy, that have been guiding me, even though I'm guiding others, but he too is also guiding me on how to build my channel or build my audience and all those stuff. So one thing I would say from my own opinion is that YouTube cares a lot about its creators. So now, based on this, how do you, if someone wants to start content creating, maybe as a full-time career or probably as a part-time career, which platform do you think? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube,
Truth
which
be
is
told, YouTube is the best. I, of course, I'm also trying to build an audience on other platforms as well. But for me, YouTube remains to be the core platform that I use. And the biggest reason why is it's the only platform which has put the creator at the center of everything.
sure.
And they have a structured way of rewarding the creator. So one, if you are planning to start a channel now and you don't have a channel now, I would say do YouTube Shorts and make sure that you're doing at least one YouTube short a day, at least one YouTube short a day. Ideally, be doing 2 or 3, and just place them on the channel. Just place them on the channel because that is the easiest way to get to 1,000 subscribers right now. And no matter the niche that you're in, if you can do that consistently for the next 60 or 90 days, you'll start making money. Because next year in February, shorts are also going to be monetized. That's one of the reasons why, like for me, I'm trying to create as much content as I can right now in shorts. So over the last 1 week, uh, I have made about 8 shorts over 8 days. So every single day there's a short that comes out at 6 a.m. Even
I think
today,
I will follow
right
your
now,
footsteps. I will follow
yeah,
your
yeah,
footsteps.
yeah. So even right now, it's about 10 p.m. here. But after we are done with this live, I'm recording a short that will go live tomorrow at 6 a.m. So I don't even care about the number of views that it gets because I don't know how many views it will get. But
Yeah.
I want to create uh, a depository of shorts such that if ever one of them goes viral, if ever one of them goes viral and gets me people, then the others will start following suit. So I'm still in my niche, talking about things in my niche. I prepare a video, make it very simple, put it up, and then the next day another one like that. Sometimes I sit down and do 2 or 3, then I schedule them out over 3 days just in case I don't have time. But for me, I've decided it's one shot a day until December 31st. So I'm trying to see how I can be able to shoot that out so that it's always ready. And then now I start concentrating on the long form content because that's essentially what I'm doing. So I mix the two because right now the experience is separated. The experience for
Exactly.
shorts is separate from the experience
Separated.
for the long form content.
Yeah.
I
It
wasn't
doesn't
doing that
have
before because they were
mixed
people were
up.
getting notifications about shorts, for instance. And so that was hurting the views that I was getting on the channel. But right now, since they're separate and shorts monetization is coming as well, you see, I'm already thinking about the future money that is gonna be coming. So I want to get into that space where I know I'm supposed to create a short a day. And within time, I'll be doing shorts and then some of them get 1,000 views a day. So if I have 30 videos and that's 30,000 views, that's additional money on my AdSense at the end of the day. And who knows, there may be a program that comes up that is just for shorts creators. And then they look at their hashtag and they see, oh, Mumo has been creating every single day. Let us pick him as well and give him more money. Amen to that.
Okay. That's a nice strategy. That's a nice
Yeah,
strategy. I think I will follow this advice. Nothing like making a lot of content on your shelf, because you never know what will happen in the future. One of them might just pick up, or something might happen that relates to that particular video that will make
yeah,
your content or your channel go viral. Because that happened to me. I remember one of my top most viewed video on my channel was about AdSense. And during that period, I was searching on how to create an AdSense account. And I noticed that most of the videos then were like 3 4 years old, and most of the user interface of the of AdSense then was quite different from. So people might find it difficult. So I just pick up my camera, recorded my screen, and don't do the tutorial. And that single video alone have earned me more than $2,000 on this channel. So this is a very good idea. And I think as young or growing content creators, we should have this kind of mentality. Build just like you are building your assets, you are building your digital assets. Don't think of how many views you are seeing today. Just like what Momo said, if you want to create your short, keep creating it, keep creating it. I'm sure that within some time, one thing will just something will happen. So Momo, thanks a lot. You have spent a good, valuable time, your time with us today. We so appreciate the community. We are so happy and what you have dished out, from affiliate marketing to crypto to your travel to YouTube, Black Fund in South Africa, and other ideas, affiliating with our local brands and other stuff. So we thank you very much for giving us an insight into how to expand our earnings. This time things are not funny financially all over the world. If I think Nigeria is even the most hit, because I don't want to go deep into Nigerian issue here. So, thank you very much. I appreciate everything. My regards to your people and even your audience that joined us here today. Just help me tell them thank you. So, any one word before you leave?
First of all, thank you for having me. I'm privileged that this is the first time I'm doing this with you, and of course, I'll also invite you to my channel very soon. I'm hoping you get the go live together
Yes, go
feature as
live
well.
together.
So
Yeah,
I hope you
yeah.
get it so that we can actually just natively do it on the platform. But this was awesome. I think um, one advice to content creators is keep building whatever you are building. Listen to the audience, but also understand that this is something that you are building for the future. Don't look at the money right now because it may upset you and make you to give up. But always remember that success is right around the corner. That is something that you need to understand. If I had given up in my journey in 2020, I would never be here. And I have gotten a lot of my success in 2021 and 2022. So if I'd given up after 3 years on the platform, I would not be here. If you want to start a business, start with your own money, start humble, try and sell your product to just one person. That is how you make your money. Don't go all grandiose trying to get the biggest office or try and outshine everyone. Be real, start with what you know, grow from there, and within no time, you'll actually succeed. Don't be ashamed of starting your business from inside your house. Don't be ashamed of starting a side business because you're employed or trying to sell something while they see you in those nice clothes in the office. If you want to start a business, be humble. Don't think about what other people are saying and start on your journey. If you want to invest in the stock market or in cryptocurrencies, please make sure to learn first of all before you ever put your money into an investment. Number two, realize that investing is a risk no matter how many books you read. You can never learn how to swim by reading a book. You always have to
How to
get
swim.
into the water.
Yeah.
So, one thing that you need to realize is be ready for the good times and the bad times in the market. But if you know what you are looking for at the end, just be patient and you'll get to the very end. Thanks a lot for having me. My name is Mumo, and I'm really glad to have been with you today, Tech Informant. I'm so
Okay.
glad that you asked me to do this, and I'm happy that I was able to be here with you.
It's a it's a pleasure having you here. So thanks, Mumo, and every of you that have joined us so far and you have watched to this extent. I appreciate you creating time to listen to us. And don't forget to give this video a like, and if possible, share to whoever you know that we need it. So, Mumo, thanks once again. Have a nice day and have a nice rest. Okay, guys, thank you for being around, and I'll be signing off now. So, see you soon.